wags around. Ryan kicks that low and it goes past everybody, but saved by Ryan's not going to be happy with that. As it's poked back into the box by Pueblo, there was a player running at it, but it was way ahead of that forward for Pueblo. Easily picked up by Ryan Worth. He flings it out to Madigan, who does the chip towards Casey Dean, but that very athletic play by that Pueblo player to go high over Dean and head the ball away. Another header by Pueblo. It's up in the air. It comes to Capo, who just spins and cuts it away from the opponent. Now it's back with Blackwell. He slips too, but luckily he recovers in time and just puts it along the ground to Thomas Hong, who just touches it to Corey Dean. Corey hits the left foot there up in the air. That couldn't get it to a forward there, Corey, and Pueblo come away with the ball once again. This is an interesting game because Fort Lewis have a plan, but Pueblo are chasing hard. They keep pressuring Fort Lewis every time they try to get that possession game going. And good job by them. Here's a shot coming in. Oh, yes, from about 25 yards out, but saved by Ryan Worth. Wow, I wasn't expecting a shot then. The ball just sort of suddenly presented itself to that Pueblo player and just hit it hard. And it was on frame too, but Ryan Worth was standing on the goal line and he caught it safely. Here come Pueblo again, but that's a bad pass forward. It's going to run over the line, out of bounds. That'll be a throw in for Fort Lewis. Fort Lewis quick too. They don't want to waste time to Blackwell. Here he comes walking up the field towards the half line. Rolls it right along the ground to Casey Dean and back to Capo, and he tries to send Hong away, and it almost worked. Just weighted a little heavy as here's a crossfield ball as Madigan taps it to Casey Dean. Casey tries to not. Some players on the goal line, some players around the penalty spot, and Capo's going to head across the middle. It's too close to the keeper though, and there is a player on that near post, and that's a Pueblo player, and he heads it safely away. Duke's all the way on this side of the field as he gets it to Madigan. What a brilliant trap there by Capo to keep the ball in bounds, but Pueblo will kick it out. That'll be a throw to Fort Lewis. Fort Lewis trying to unlock this Pueblo defense. Pueblo playing quite conservatively here. They're not going all out in attack, and that's making it hard for Fort Lewis as Casey tries to tap it back to Madigan, but it's just kicked all the way down the other end of the road. Ryan Worth is calling for it, but pushed in the back is Jonesy, and that'll be a free kick. Jonesy, I think, is asking, I think he might be telling his teammates he should have been talked to there, or else he's telling the referee that might be a yellow card, not sure there.
Well, 9 is calling for the dive on that one, though.
Yeah, Jonesy put himself in the front place there, which was good, but that was a momentary danger there for Fort Lewis. Had that Pueblo player been able to get away, but Jonesy was there, as he usually is, and there's Hong obstructed as he tries to go through off the pass from Corey Dean. And about 40 yards out from goal, it'll be a free kick to Fort Lewis. And Hong touches it on the ground, immediately passes. And even Capo was surprised there, and he spilled it. He didn't like that because it's given up possession to Pueblo. And here they come through the middle of the field as Hong trips his opponent. The referee says advantage and play on as that Pueblo player just stabs it right through the middle of the defence. And that is going to roll all the way to Ryan Worth. I guess there was a late tackle by Corey Dean. Oh, I did not know that. Here's a long kick and it's landing right around the 18. Corey Dean, the midfielder's up there. What a beautiful header to his brother, Casey Dean, around the centre circle. Here's Claw with a very ambitious pass. Doesn't find anybody. He was searching there for Casey Dean or Madigan. Couldn't find him. And it's rejected by Pueblo, but immediately Duke's back in the mix and he passes to Claw, and now it's back with Duke. That went wrong as he slips one across the middle. But Pueblo are on it. They're fighting hard, Pueblo. They're not going to let this number 3 team in the nation get away with anything. As then it's popped forward again by Pueblo, but it's going to run all the way down to that goal line. Let's see if Pueblo Duke with a soft throw into Blackwell, who's suddenly closed on by the Pueblo player, so he quickly has to get rid of it. And yes, he does. That'll go all the way up to the half line, out of bounds. And we've got some subs coming from Pueblo.
See one goal here pretty quick. They've been going forward a little bit. But this next advantage here, I think we're going to get a little drop on Kevin Himmel. He needed number 23 for Nate Chapone.
Yeah, the Pueblo defense is playing quite high up, which is good. They're keeping Hong and Casey Dean away from the goal. But here's a free kick. Let's see if Fort Lewis, we've got 20 minutes to go before halftime. Let's see if Fort Lewis can get a score before halftime. Duke's got the ball. He's about 10 yards back of the half line, and he boots it forward about 40 yards, landing around the where Hong is, but he couldn't get the header. It's knocked out to Capo in the middle of the field. He just lazily kicks it back towards Pibakov, but not quite accurately, so Jonesy has to go back and get it. Here's Piperkoff on the ball again. He stabs it towards Casey Dean, who has to slide. There's a nice little dribble by the Pueblo player to get it to forward, but Joey Madigan, that was a brilliant pass too to Jonesy and Piperkoff and back to Jonesy. And they've put Madigan in defence now, and he fakes going downfield and just touches it sideways to Jonesy. And now Jonesy back to Madigan. Yes, finally kicked out of bounds by Pueblo. Good work there to retain possession. And finally, we have the first stop of the game, and it's... Oh my God, it's the number 21 coming in here, David.
The kid they call David Barton.
Yes, wow.
I don't know how many times, John, people have said that 21 looks just like you.
Really?
He's got more hair.
Well, I must admit, during the alumni game, I thought that was you out there. But
well, he was wearing my jersey.
But of course, you're a lot better player. Corey Dean with the slide tackle out towards Piperkoff. He's going to has to get that ball touch up. Piperkoff is all running himself into trouble here, but luckily he gets it to Jonesy, who touches it all the way back in the corner flag. Oh, nice play by Piperkoff here to work the ball away, but Pueblo have found it again. They're about 25 yards out from goal. Nice pass to the middle. This player's going to hit one with his right foot. Hits the back of Jonesy. I don't know that it was on frame anyway. And he certainly has. Here's a corner kick, and it's a good one too. Headed by Blackwell, but not totally out of the box. It falls to Madigan, and he needs to get rid of it. He does, because there was too many Pueblo players hanging around there, and so he missed it out of bounds. Pueblo has the throw in, and they're about 25 yards off that corner flag. This player gives it up to the number 12, which means he must have a better throw in. Now the referee has stopped the clock here, and I'm wondering, yes, he's going back to tell Ryan Worth to take his water bottle out of the goal. Yes, I'd like to see that. The goal should be clean. Good job, ref. And here comes the throw in, and it's high in the air, headed towards the goal, and Ryan Worth just makes the save at his feet. That was sneaking inside the near post. Ooh, that was a close one.
Very one.
Ryan Worth looking downfield. He was going to punt it, but now he just rolls it out of the box. There's no one near him, so he kicks it off the ground. And there it goes long. A nice shot off the ground. A little header by Claude. Tried to get it to Freeman. Can't do it. It's poked forward again by Pueblo, but in the mix is Corey Dean, who kicks it. Didn't have time to pass there, so it comes out to Pueblo. Pueblo gaining confidence every minute here as they're holding the number 3 team in the nation scoreless here. Capo in the mix, and now it's Corey Dean, and Capo takes off, and he's got a couple of options here. He's going to flick one through to Freeman. It's a beautiful pass, and down goes Freeman. Nothing there. I think the defender was entitled to take that ball, and he did, as the Freeman tried to jump into the air and flick that into the goal. Wow, David, that was close. What an incredible pass by Capo to flick that ball up in the air. Couldn't slip it through the defence, so had to go up and over. And Freeman almost got onto that. The ball all the way down the other end of the field in front of the scoreboard, throw in by Fort Lewis. Corey Dean has it. It's back with Piperkoff and out to Madigan. Madigan's going in the wrong direction, so he's going to just kick it all the way across the field to Blackwell. Lovely pass with his right foot, Madigan, because he's mostly a left foot player. As Blackwell goes to Duke, and Duke can take off down that right channel and slides it along the ground to Freeman, who traps it nicely, going in the wrong direction, but guarding the ball well, and back to Duke. This is good possession by Fort Lewis. It's all the way over to Jonesy. Madigan's an option here, as is Freeman, and it comes to Freeman. He doesn't trap that well, but it lets it... Corey Dean with the trick soccer here as he flicks it over his opponent. Back to Freeman. And now away is Thomas Hong. Oh, he picks it up and over the keeper. It's one of the goals. Fort Lewis 1. Pueblo 0. How did that happen, David?
Very skillful play there from Corey Dean. Number 12, Corey Dean. Corey Dean saw Thomas Hong had a little space there. He kept himself on side, but the defenders were kind of off place.
Corey Dean is the color expert here, David, because you said you could feel a goal coming, and yes, it did. As Fort Lewis take the lead here, as the ball comes towards the Fort Lewis defence, trapped by Jonesy, and now it's Piperkoff, and he's up to Madigan on this left-hand side. Madigan traps it inside to Freeman, has options, but he goes back to Piperkoff. Oh, Piperkoff shows a bit too much ball there to Pueblo, and the Pueblo player does come away from it. You don't see Piperkoff making many mistakes at all. As that player, nice skill there as he spins away from Capo, but now he just took too much time on the ball.
This right wing, number 26, was properly defensive. Very good baseball.
Yeah, he's a good player. As Freeman goes back to Corey Dean, he had the assist on the first goal of the game to Thomas Hong. Oh, you love to see a player just chip it over the keeper, and that's what Hong did. So many times when the forward has that opportunity, David, they kick it over the crossbar, but just Hong weighted that shot beautifully. The poor keeper had no chance, and that was the first goal of the game just minutes ago. The throw in, and Freeman with a little flick on, but the Pueblo player saw it coming, booted that ball out of bounds, and it's the throw in to Fort Lewis. Pipercuffs comes all the way up from left fullback. He's about 30 yards off the flag, and beautiful blind pass by Pipercuff to send Madigan away. Can he go round his opponent? Yes, he can, right on the goal line. No, the flag went up, didn't out of bounds. Ooh, that was close. He almost went round that defender, David.
Almost.
Goal kick to Pueblo, and here they come down this left-hand side. The Pueblo player just standing beside the ball. He doesn't know where to go, so he decides to cross field all the way over to the right fullback. And Madigan's coming to claim that player. That player just passes back to the centre fullback. Now it's stung across the field back to the left fullback. Pueblo looking a bit like Fort Lewis here as they're passing it around the back. But now they come forward and, that player fakes inside and then goes straight down the middle. Pueblo just lose that ball though, and claws in the mix there, but it goes out of bounds, and down goes a Pueblo player.
Right down the middle with the back and through. Not working out very well for him, but they're trying it. Looks like they're stopping.
Well, they're a determined team. They, yes, this might be a yellow card here as the referee stops the clock, and it's going to be a yellow card on the Pueblo player, as down is Duke, I think, and Blackwell gives him a pat on the back. Did he jump headfirst into the player there, Dave?
He did. The ball is coming on. He went for Duke, and the defender turned to straight into the head.
Yeah, that's just came onto the field.
But
that's unusual. Okay. I guess the referee forgot about that. It's offside as Hong came from an onside position. When he got the ball, he was way onside, but the linesman saying he came from an offside position, so off that long pass by Duke. You know, that's unusual that Duke was allowed to stay on the field, but I don't know what that was.
He might have had a word with the referee there too, just saying that I don't need one, but the trainer came out anyway.
Yeah, good call. The other thing
is, the ref will let you do that.
It might have also been a suspicion of blood there, and so the referee just let them come on, but I think Duke's fine. Here's Pueblo, and they might be able to work a shot here from about 22 yards out, but Fort Lewis forcing him to go horizontal, and that's good play by Jonesy, working that player all the way over to the corner flag. It will come off Jonesy, and it will be a corner kick. We have 12 minutes to go with a couple of subs waiting to come on for Fort Lewis, but it's Fort Lewis 1, Pueblo 0, the goal by Hong. Here's the corner kick, not a bad one either, landing around the 16, headed by Emmerich. Alexander with that amazing goal on Friday against Colorado Christian. High in the air goes Pueblo, and yes, he crashes over Duke. Crashes over Corey Dean, and Corey Dean wanted the free kick there, and the referees called Dean for sort of backing into. I don't think that's a foul.
I think that was the opposite way.
I think he's allowed to do that.
That's why Dean was so confused. He tried grabbing the ball, thinking it was a free kick.
Yeah, that's like a basketball call when you're backing in, but I don't know that he was backing in. Here's Pueblo coming down that left-hand channel. Emmerich trying to work Pueblo off the ball, but they've still got it, and they're coming forward here. They just having a very hard time getting a quality shot on goal, Pueblo, but here's one stung in towards the box, ball up and over the keeper for the first goal of the match, and it's Fort Lewis 1, Pueblo 0 here. Freeman looking for the header, couldn't find it, taken away by Pueblo coming forward. That player just can't trap it, very awkwardly coming to him on the bounce. That Pueblo player lets it run out of bounds. It'll be a throw in. Pipercuff's on it. Jordan Alexander runs under the ball. That lets Pueblo in. That player could have trapped it and found the pass, but he just booted it, and it's out of bounds. That'll be a throw in to Fort Lewis. Here's the man from Bremen, Germany, the freshman. It's Pipercuff, who throws it high to Freeman, who gets a lovely flick over header towards Alexander. Alexander sends the hospital ball back to Freeman, though, and that lets Pueblo in as Capo trying to come forward, but Pueblo on the ball again, and they're up at the half line, guarded by Emmerich, but that player spins away from him back to the middle of the field. But there's a pass on here wide if he wants it. No, he goes back to the fullback, that Pueblo player. He lingered on the ball, Pueblo, and that allowed Jordan Alexander in to block the ball. and it'll be a throw as I think he might be a sophomore as the ball, I don't know, that was out of bounds with the linesman, but it was, that stops the Pueblo attack as Piperkoff's going to throw this ball in. A lot of play over this side of the field today as the Capo gets a little trap and he goes back to Piperkoff, who's not under pressure, so he just stabs it forward, floats it. Gee, might have found Alexander then, but the Pueblo player was clever and got back on it just in the nick of time. Here's Pueblo coming away with the ball. Too many Fort Lewis players, though, as it's poked forward by Piperkoff to Madigan, and now Freeman sends Madigan. Oh, Madigan wasn't anticipating that, so the Pueblo defender got in. He tries to kick it into the Fort Lewis player, but it nutmegs actually Madigan, but we lucked out because that means it's our throw in as Fort Lewis goes to Piperkoff. Piperkoff's going to let one go here from about 25 yards. He does, it's very sound, and of course having Blackwell and Jonesy there in the middle is pretty nice too, with the Fabian out. I'm sure that's one of the big reasons why Fabian hasn't come back. The coaches can see that these defenders are doing a great job. As Pueblo has the ball, there's a nice little pass, but quickly broken up by Duke, who nipped in there in the nick of time. That pass down in that left-hand corner, and there's a long throw in, but Duke's there again as he heads the ball away. Another header by Pueblo. Pueblo's on the ball again, about 30 yards out. There's a nice little touch and a dribble. He's trying to run through the defence, but too many defenders back there. Capo smells danger, so he just boots it down the other end. Here's the header back towards the keeper. Doesn't reach the keeper, so the keeper has to come outside his box. Alexander was preying on those guys to make a mistake, but the keeper heads it away. Gets out of bounds, throw into Fort Lewis. Alexander is trying to hook the ball. I think it might have hit his hand as he tried to hook that ball over his shoulder. And 2 goals to Malinga as Fort Lewis won 2-1 against New Mexico Highlands. Here's a long kick and high goes Blackwell, but he misses it. Jonesy backing up. He heads it towards Corey Dean. Finally gets the header, and now to Alexander, who might have got a little touch on that header. He also might have missed it, I'm not sure, but Pueblo has the ball in the middle of the field. Capo gets a little touch, and he guards the ball, shields the ball nicely. He fakes one way, then the other, as Capo sends it to Madigan. Madigan's got Piperkoff overlapping, Piperkoff calling, but Madigan's going through the middle, and Madigan, he tries the right foot shot from about 30, and just here comes the kick, and it's right down the middle, and up in the air is Freeman. That's a good header, and he headed it towards Alexander. Can he get there before it goes out of bounds? No, he can't. And the referee will say it's a Pueblo throw. Beautiful conditions here for a soccer game at Dirksfield. The throwing goes long, it's over everybody's head. Jonesy has to move quick. Can't risk a pass to Blackwell because there's a forward there, so he goes back to Worth, who traps it with his foot and kicks it downfield. But it's out of bounds again, and that'll be a throw in to CSU Pueblo.
Well, Darren Morgan always said it's a peaceful day now.
Well, that's not a bad Dover accent there you're doing. Darren, are you out there? Sometimes Darren listens to us. To our broadcast. Here's the throw in by Pueblo.
Remember, you're always.
Yeah, lovely little dribble there by that Pueblo player, and it comes back out to the wing, and there might have been a foul there. The referee coming over, I think he's going to give the number 23, yes, that player free kick. He might have been tripped as he went to get the ball. And this could be a bit of danger for Fort Lewis. About, probably 28 yards off the goal line and at a very 45-degree angle, so they're just inside the touch line. And this left footer now has come over to make that kick. He's going to curl this ball in towards the penalty spot. Let's see if somebody can get up. It's a good one, too, and it's landing right there on the penalty spot. But Freeman, the tall player, he got back there. The Pueblo players didn't seem to be interested in hitting that ball, and they let Freeman go get it as the ball comes back to the middle of the field. But Jonesy now heading it out of danger. The ball back, a lovely pass there by Madigan to Piperkoff, who uses his strength to fight off his opponent. Oh, he's a clever player, and he just knew he'd get a free kick or something if he kept to his place, and he did. Did Piperkoff, and that'll be Jonesy with the free kick, deep in defence for Fort Lewis as we start to get towards the half-time break. Freeman knocks his opponent out of the way, but can't trap the ball to advantage, and comes towards Pueblo. There's a little header forward, but it's not going to run to the Pueblo player. As Piperkoff, Piperkoff points to the player's hand, but it was accidental. That's not a bad call. As comes off a nice shot. There was a corner kick to Pueblo. There's a short corner kick too. It'll be go back to the corner player, but is it done well enough? No, because that lets Emmerich in. And Madigan and Emmerich's right footer, but he's going to have to kick this with his left foot, and he does. He can't aim it quite right. And I don't. Did that ball go out of bounds? This linesman has called about 3 balls out of bounds that haven't gone out of bounds. So the ball's got to be all the way over. So I don't know about that. Anyway,
we don't have
throw
exactly
into
the best, but that.
well, we don't. But we're right here. But Jonesy with the header right back to the man who made the throw in from Pueblo. He just cuts it across the middle of the field out of hope. But Corey Dean's there, and he gets a foot in and pokes it over towards where Emmerich's running. Emmerich's the smaller player there, and the Pueblo player does get the header, but that worked for Emmerich because it went out of bounds. Yeah. And that'll be a throw into Fort Lewis. We are closing on the half-time break here as Emmerich, that's Duke taking his time there, and he throws it, it lands on the ground. Pueblo the first one to touch it, and they go backwards to their fullback line. That's a nice trap in midair, and that player drops it at his feet over to the right fullback, and he's looking downfield for a pass, and he ends up, well, that player would have been a beautiful pass to the number 2, but the number 2 just whiffed on it. It runs all the way through to Worth, who picked up the ball safely, and just throws it out accurately to Duke, and Duke to Emmerich, and puts Corey Dean under a little bit of pressure there, Emmerich, and Corey Dean felt like he was pushed. That's why he kicked the ball out of bounds. And there's a little chest pass by Pueblo, but luckily Jonesy saw it coming quickly. Oh man, he's a good player, Jonesy. His decision-making is amazing. Always making the right decision. Oh, Piperkoff tries to trap that, misses it, but he's going to run and catch up with it before it goes out of bounds up towards Alexander, and kicked out of bounds by Pueblo. Can Fort Lewis get one more shot at goal here before time runs out in the first half? Here's the throw in by Piperkoff, a tie in the air looking for Alexander. No, can't find him. Here's Pueblo coming, but it's Piperkoff with the slide tackle forward, and now kicked forward to Grant Duke, who kicks the ball cleverly up above his head to go round an opponent. Oh, Corey Dean, skill there as he got it up towards Madigan, but not quite accurately enough. Madigan couldn't get a hold of it. Time's running out. He had only equivalent to even the score before halftime. Just trying to come forward, but that's an errant pass. It goes to Corey Dean. Here's Capo. Oh, he saw Madigan running, but he had to chip that one, not hit it on the ground. Bad luck there because the pass was accurate, but just intercepted by Pueblo, and it goes all the way back to Blackwell. And Blackwell's not going to look for a pass here. He's just going to boot it long, which is the right decision with time running out. And there's halftime. As it's Fort Lewis 1, Pueblo 0 at the half. The goal by Thomas Hall. David Martin, what's happening out here?
Overall, good possession from Fort in the first half. What they're looking for, just I think, by looking at some of these boys face to face, they're anticipating a couple more goals, but can't do it. Corey and Popakov right now actually going over it. Looks like, but overall, great performance, good first goal. And second half, I think usually when Fort Lewis starts pulling out some more goals for us, so hopefully we'll have more exciting second half.
Yep, it's been a long season. Fort Lewis, I'm not going to suggest they're tired at all, but I think they'll be glad when this weekend's over. They've had lots of games recently, and man, it's a lot of work going through a college soccer season. But as David said, they've got the 1-goal lead, and we'll be looking for more goals in this second half. All right, we have halftime here, and it's 15-minute halftime.